Hey everybody, welcome to Round the Twist, episode 328. It's April 30th, 2018, and how the heck did it get to be the end of April already? This is crazy to me how fast this year is going. We're already a third of the way through the calendar year, and that doesn't seem possible. But anyway, life has normalized, or as normal as it gets around here, so I'm hoping to not be weepy this week, but just in case, I did keep my little washcloth out here in case I do, so heads up. I have no more sad news to give to you. I should be knocking on something wood around here because, yeah. I think we've wrapped up everything in our lives that had kind of been taking a U-turn, and we are back going the direction we need to be going. So, including with all of my crafting. So first thing, let's start off with what's on my needles. I did a little bit of work on the stained glass blanket take 2 yesterday. Oh, there's a Daisy Duke. Hi. Do you want to come say hi? Come on, Daisy. Come on. Right. Pudge. Oh my goodness, you are so pudgy. Yes, you are. There's the Pudge. Right there. What? So I almost said there's a Phoebe. Wow. There's a Daisy Duke. We have another puppy in the house right now, so we will get to that in a little bit. I doubt she'll be making a cameo today, but on some future show she may. Hi. You really hate it when I do this, don't you? She's like digging her claws. If you can't see, right here, into my chest. Oh yeah, that. And now into my throat. That feels wonderful, Munchkin. Thank you. There you go. Yep. Make your escape. So, puppies, yeah. Stained glass blanket. So yesterday during nap time, I actually sat down with it, realizing I hadn't touched it in over a month, and I should probably do something with that aside from, add more yarn to the pile like I did the week prior with my mom being here. So while nap time was going on, friend Sarah, Auntie Sarah, and I sat down and she worked on her crochet project. I'm sure you guys will see Sarah at some point on the show too, because she's with us for the foreseeable future. Yay. And I pulled out my crochet project because she's not really a knitter, she's more of a crocheter, and she told me she wants to learn to spin. Yay! So I'll get her going on one of my wheels and then I'll drag her on the show and she can have fun with that. So anyway, what I was working on. Stained glass take 2 has gotten, so it is equal on, it's not, I can't even get back far enough for you guys to see this. It is big enough, so right there, that was my starting hexagon. So that's now at the very center of the giant hexagon. That is 61 centers that have been joined on. I managed to do 3 more during nap time yesterday. If I would have quit yapping and paid attention, I probably could have gotten them all put on, but I kept stopping and talking, and since I can't talk without my hands all the time, I only got 3 put on, but I managed to, let me find where's my progress keeper? Where is it? Somewhere? It's over here. It's over here. So there's where I had ended with that lovely progress keeper that I got from Melissa from, she's now doing stitch markers, progress keepers, and I believe it's meliabella.etsy.com. Oh, I still have her thing here. Yay! Progress keepers by Meliabella, and I was right, meliabella.etsy.com. Please focus. There we go. So obviously I have some more progress keepers that I purchased from her that I have not used yet. They're so sparkly. You will see those on future projects. But this one that I purchased, the little Northern Star, helped. So that's where I ended, and I joined these 3, which I believe is Sea Stone, Carbon Dating, and I looked this one up. It's Pepe Le Plume. And Carbon Dating and Pepe Le Plume were both in my big Charlotte's Web shawl that I did. Sea Stone was a pair of monkeys years ago. I was kind of trying to go through and remember the names of everything, and I realize I'm going to fail at that in all future endeavors with this, because with the 20 plus colorways I added in that my mom had gotten, I don't know what they all are. I know some of them, but on site, so yeah, we're just gonna get, wow, isn't this pretty, for the next little bit. Plus all the ones that other people have donated to me, given to me, what have you. But it's coming along. So I'm using the pattern. Helps if I go in the right order to tell you all about this, right? The pattern is called Juggling Hexes by Wendy Harbaugh. It is a free pattern that's available through Ravelry. Oh no, there it goes. And just moving the progress keeper over so I remember where the last spot was. I'm crocheting it out of Socks That Rock lightweight and medium weight, all of my scraps that I have left over from various projects. And then joining it all together with the solid series from the Loopy U in the ever so imaginative black, straight black. That's all that is. And I think I've got at least 6 more skeins of this to use. I think I'm on my second, third, I don't know. Whatever it is. I've got plenty. I should have plenty to finish this blanket, and it shouldn't be a problem. And if not, I will go stash diving on Ravelry again and see if I can buy stuff out of people's stashes, since they no longer make that. Anyway, using an F hook, a 3.75 millimeter hook, but I got the 3 centers joined on, and that makes a total of 61 joined. However, from when we went and met the in-laws in North Platte, I think that's all of them, I grabbed them all, from going in the car, I still have 5 more to go. So these will be joined on soon before, and talking to Sarah yesterday, I was like, I'm debating doing something, because I'm really not I've hit that point where I don't enjoy joining these on. I love doing these, but I don't enjoy doing the black. And she's like, I'll do the black for you. And I really wanted to go, yes! But I didn't, because it's my project. I can do it myself. But I've reached the point where it's like, okay, I've put every color from my original blanket in there that I originally had, the 42 colors, at least once, some of them twice. And I want to be able to lay them out a little bit better, so I might just start just doing the centers so I can kind of pick and choose and then just go to town and join them all at once. But we'll see if my brain is able to wrap itself around that for a while. I don't know, because right now I want to get these joined on, and then I'll make the decision on what I'm going to do, and then probably 2 weeks after that I'll change it, because, you know, that's how I work. Second thing that I worked on, let me get to it, I'm sorry for all the crinkly, but there's lots of plastic bags over here, is my Beck sweater. So this is Beck by Danny Sunshine. I'm knitting it out. It's riding around until it grows too big in my Fat Squirrel Companions bag from Doctor Who. And I'm knitting it up out of Rowan Felted Tweed DK in colorway 173. And I have a ton of this, which reminds me I need to grab another ball before I go upstairs. Because, yeah, I finished the body. It's all done. Yeah. I'm so excited. So I knit this up on a US 6, which is a 4.0 millimeter needle. The body is done. It's done. In fact, I'm going to pop it on right now, because I can't tell you guys how scared I was with this, because I started this sweater over 2 years ago. In that 2 years, I have gained weight. Like, all the weight that I happened to lose when I was pregnant with the twins has suddenly, in like the last 4 or 5 months, decided to reassert itself, let's put it that way. So when I put it on, it actually still fits. Yay! And I realized I did a very nondescript color. It's a beautiful color in person, but it blends into all my jeans. So I don't know what we'll do with that, but body is done. The yoke, even without blocking, see it, is laying beautifully. I love all the little cabley bits without going too crazy. I'm always worried, I don't know why, about yoked sweaters like this. And I don't know why this is. If something in my head makes me think that I'm not going to, for some reason, it doesn't flatter my body type, but this one actually lays really nicely and I'm really liking it. So, yay. I did make the body about an inch longer. I compared it to my Hero sweater. That was it. And the Hero is actually an inch shorter, so I'm happy with the length that I made it, and now I need to move on to the sleeves, and then I will be finished with it. Like, sleeves zoom so fast. Not. I will be on Sleeve Island for probably until next winter, which will be when I can wear this, because this is like a wool, alpaca, and nylon blend. And yeah. I hit Starbucks on my way. Why am I smelling something weird? Sorry. Second dog in the house, you know, the whole competitive marking of territory thing. Hasn't happened yet, but I thought I caught a whiff of something, but maybe I'm just going crazy. Welcome to my world. So I actually got to leave the house and go grocery shopping on my own this morning. Thank you, Auntie Sarah, for being here. And I was able to stop at Starbucks and get an iced caramel macchiato with cinnamon dolce syrup in it. If you haven't had this, oh my gosh, it's like drinking a cinnamon roll. It's so good. So, no, I am smelling something. What am I smelling? Welcome to being a mom of toddlers and dogs in the house. It's guess the smell, and I'll deal with it later. I'm sorry, I'll stop making comments about what it smells like. Just be glad you don't have smell-o-vision. So, yeah, yay, body done. So last week I had finished up hubby's socks, his last year's Christmas present socks, when I gave him the skein of yarn in my best intentions. And I grabbed the Socks That Rock that I had sitting over here. You guys can't see where I'm pointing, but that's my printer for the last probably year that my friend Sarah had picked out. So I've been knitting Sarah socks, trying to do them twice a year for the last, while now. So she gets Christmas socks and birthday socks and various other knitted things. She's gotten a lace shawl, felted bags. I think when I was still in college, I knit her a hat, scarf, and mittens set. I don't even remember what all else I've made her. I made her a lot of stuff. And it's been used and appreciated, and hence why she gets socks. And so when she walked in the door the first night she got here, I handed her her Christmas socks, which, if you'll remember, they were those turquoise, royal blue, black and white opal socks that I knit, that I hadn't mailed to her yet, because I'm a horrible friend and a procrastinator, and I knew she was coming out here, and why waste the postage when she's going to be here anyway. And I pulled out, so the other night when she was here and we were watching some TV show, I have some exciting news for you about this. Hubby, after one go, so when I was doing his Steampunk Sonata socks, we were at that hotel in North Platte, and I handed him the skein of yarn and said, "Here, be my Swift." And he's like, "Be your what?" I said, "Just hold the yarn so I can wind it into a ball." So he was in the middle of eating or doing something in front of the TV when I brought the yarn up to do Sarah's socks, because I didn't have socks on the needles, and that's just crazy talk to not have socks on the needles to me. I need something small and portable, and a sweater ready to put on the sleeves. No, I didn't have the brain space for that. But I didn't want to haul out my Swift and ball winder and be down here for 5 minutes cranking away. So instead I spent 20 minutes hand winding a ball of yarn. So he learned with one skein how to do it, and I started off having it on my lap, and he hurried up and finished it and goes, "Here, just give it to me." Took the skein of yarn from me, and he started doing the Swift rock. You know, when you're holding a skein of yarn for someone that's hand winding and you kind of go back and forth to make it flow better off your hands out of the loop. He was doing that on the second skein he has ever helped me wind. So I was so proud of him, but I didn't want to say anything and make him self-conscious about it. So he helped me wind up the yarn for Sarah's socks, which is going to be Socks That Rock Lightweight in the colorway Hawthorne, which is, I don't know how old. And I loved the color in the skein. And then I wound it into a ball, and I love it even more. Right about there. Oh yeah. So kind of denim-y blue. There's kind of a natural blending toward a gray with a kind of tan khaki color, and then the darkest color there is kind of a burgundy. So I got the ball wound that night, and I didn't cast on. I cast on the next day. On a US 1.5, so a 2.5 millimeter needle. I've basically got the cuff of one sock done in 2 nights worth of knitting, and probably could have done it sooner. But I'm doing a 64 stitch stockinette sock, so I'm just zooming through it. And I love it. I kind of don't want to give it to her. I kind of want to keep it for me, but I know she loves this color, and she loves how it's kind of striping. So these are hers. Sarah, you are an awesome friend and an awesome auntie, so you deserve every one of these. And we were sitting there yesterday during the conversation during nap time about, while I was working on this, wondering how many socks I'd actually knit her over the years. And I pulled up Ravelry. Well, not all the socks I've knit her are on Ravelry, but some of them are in this blanket. I know I've knit her other ones that I'm not remembering because they're not all socks that rock. And we came up with the fact that I had knit her 12 pairs of socks over the years, and they are all in various states of disrepair / repair, because she keeps darning them to make them last longer. And I love that. I love that about her, that she's willing to do that. She still has the first socks I left her, even though they're more holes than, or the first pair of socks that I knit her, even though they're more holes than socks anymore. And she's going to like get a shadow box and put them in as the first socks that I made for her. But I'm willing to do this for her because she is such an awesome, awesome friend. And she is now our like live-in nanny and helping us. And not everybody would do that. So she deserves it. She deserves so much. So that's what I'm working on. Thanks to 2 movies in 2 nights, and 1 trip to the playground, I've managed to do the cuff of one sock, because she likes shorty socks. So I did, get that back up here, I did 16 rows of 1x1 rib. Might as well show you here while I'm at it. And then I'm I'm very close if I'm not all the way through, because I stopped mid-row, so I must have stopped to count or something. I am doing 40 rows. Let's get that out of the way. 40 rows of plain stockinette, and I'm within, if I'm not there, I'm within a row or 2, and I'll start the heel flap. But hubby and I are all caught up on the Marvel movies. We watched Spider-Man Homecoming Saturday night. I have not seen Infinity War yet, because we didn't want to go opening weekend because we knew it would be a zoo. So we are avoiding spoilers at all costs. We have tickets to see it Wednesday, May 2nd. If anyone spoils it for me, they will be dead to me. That's all I have to say. So, scrolling past all articles on Facebook, what have you. Why did that do that? Don't do that. So between that and then Sarah had never seen Ant-Man, so we rewatched that as well. We have watched all of the movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We are ready to go for Infinity War. But because I'd seen both of those recently, I was able to knit during both of them and not be like missing anything on the screen. So various and sundry, I have one upcoming event. The Estes Park Wool Market is coming up June 9th and 10th if you're going for the main market place and the activities on the fairgrounds. If you're going for classes, those are going to be Thursday and Friday, the 7th and 8th. I'll probably be up there with the family either Saturday or Sunday. I'll announce when it gets a little bit closer, but one of those days I will be there with twins, Eric, and maybe Sarah in tow. We'll see how it goes, but the family will be there. Other thing, let's do 2 questions from any questions. We're hitting about 20 minutes here, but let's see what we can get done. So from In the Dark on Ravelry, in the Any Questions thread, if you have anything you want to ask me, go over to the Ravelry forum and you can ask me something within reason, you know. So In the Dark posted saying, maybe you could PM me on this, but I was curious why you got rid of your sidekick. It's the only wheel I've spun on. I'm curious what the difference is between that and other wheels. It does seem to take forever to get anything spun, but that could be me too. So the sidekick, when I purchased that, number one, got a raging good deal on it. And I sat down and tried to spin on it. And spinning with the Lendrum was my first wheel. And I kind of, so that's the one I learned on. It's the one I connected with, having not touched a wheel at all before. I think I lucked into it. And then I wanted something a little more portable, so I bought the Spinolution B, which was pretty intuitive for me too. The Sidekick, I don't know what it was. I tried spinning on it several times. It just didn't click. It wasn't my thing. I've tried a hitchhiker wheel as well and could not get that stupid thing to work. It just wouldn't. And someone else sat down right after me and boom, it worked. So it's just user preference. That's all it is. I just couldn't get it to work, but my friend Kate, Irish Diva, over on Ravelry, she wanted to try it, so I hauled it to SSK that year. And she sat down with it, spun on it for 5 minutes, and looked at me with this rapturous look on her face. And goes, her name is May, as in Mae West, and I'm going to deck her out in marabou and rhinestones, and she's going to be fabulous. And she loved it. So it's just a personal preference thing. Wheels are a very personal thing. And while one wheel would work for me, it might not work for you. So it's completely just what works. And it didn't work for me. So I was glad I found someone that it did work for that is able to use it and appreciate it. That's all. I hope that answered your question. And then Joy's Place, which is Joyce over on Ravelry, said, "Hi Karen, I love your show. I'm beginning to spin and want to know a few things. You said on one of your shows you were spinning on a Lendrum at a ratio of 19:1 and you never changed the ratio. Then you purchased a Spinolution B and spin at an even higher ratio. What inspired you to get a Spinolution? Why do you spin at the high ratio? I know Leslie of the Knit Girl said when she was knitting a shawl with the yarn you spun, it was like frog hair because it was so fine. What inspires you to spin, and do you frequently knit with your hand spun? Thanks so much. Lots of hugs to you and your family." So Joyce, what inspired me to get a Spinolution? I wanted something a little more portable than the Lendrum, and I wanted something that I was able to get those higher ratios, because at the time I was looking to spin finer yarn. I wanted to be able to get a traditional 3-ply sock yarn, like a light fingering weight. And I wasn't able to get that on the Lendrum. At best, I was doing sport to heavy fingering, and it was wishful thinking to think that it was heavy fingering. Honestly, it was a sport weight. It was a sport. So it was just my goals. That's all it was. And why do I spin at the high ratio? Kind of just answered. It's the type of yarn I want to achieve. The finer the yarn, the more twists you have to have in your single and in your yarn itself for it to hold together, because it's so fine. A bulky yarn doesn't have to have nearly as much twist to it for it to hold together, where a fine yarn has to have a lot of twist, and that's hence the higher ratios. The higher ratios on a spinning wheel, all it means is for every time the big wheel, you're treadling, the big wheel goes around 1 time and the flyer will spin around 7 times for like a bulkier, or 4 times for a bulkier. And if you get a very fast flyer or you go for those higher ratios, 27:1, 36:1, you're going to be getting down to that lace weight frog hair that we were talking about. And that's the kind of yarn that I was shooting for at the time. Now I don't really know what kind of yarn I'm shooting for, but a lot of the fibers that I'm spinning tend to lend themselves to be spun finer. So also I'm lazy, so I don't like to change the ratios on my wheel, because it means pulling out the manual and figuring out which bit goes where to get this different ratio. That's all. That's all it is. I'm lazy. What inspires me to spin? The pretty colors. Honestly, I love the colors. A lot of the dyers are able to achieve. In fact, you know what? Let's go for a little walk. I'm going to take you guys into the craft room. So anyone who gets motion sick, you might want to look away for a little bit, because here we go. We're going to move. And I'm going to spin you around, take you in here. I'm very sorry for the mess. That is my craft room. Eventually we will move in here. So this cabinet directly ahead of us ignore the bags on the floor. That has nothing to do with this. The cabinet is all of my fiber and my hand spun. So let me move bags out of the way here so we can get the doors open. I mean, pretty colors. I've got loop bats on top along with, I believe this is Into the World, yes. Along with my hand spun that I have up there. There's some over in my other cupboard. Next shelf down, this is all fiber optic gradients that I haven't spun yet. I have a lot, yeah. Next 2 shelves down, this one and this one, this is all Crown Mountain Farms, who's they're superwash merino. Sadly, they are no longer in business, but I hoarded their stuff, luckily. Down here, I've got a lot of Tempted. Actually, most of this, I think, is Tempted on this shelf, and that is really dark for some reason. Let me pull back a little. Sorry. Yeah, I think everything on this shelf is Tempted, and then down at the bottom, I've got kind of a mishmash of everything. I've got Blue Moon, I've got Lisa Souza, I've got some Knitter's Nightmare over in the corner. I think this one is some Gale's Art, if I remember right. Abstract fiber that I had some stuff planned for. There's just a little bit of everything. Some Knitting in Color, that is little mini bats that are falling out at us. So, do I knit with my hand spun? Yes and no. So I've knit a few things. My progression shawl is one thing I've knit with. This is another fiber optic gradient I've spun on the show. Obviously haven't knit with it yet. Stuff I spun years ago. Something from Blue Moon Fiber Arts out of the Jonna Gold colorway, and I think that was a 2-ply. That's hand spun that I purchased somewhere else. This is some old hand spun, guys. But then let's come over. Also here in this sock cupboard, I've got some hand spun here, hand spun that I had given my mom and she only used half of it, so she gave the rest back to me. And this is some hand spun that a friend back in Omaha had done that we split the... Did we split that? I don't even remember why she gave that to me. Okay, going crazy. That's okay. So, have I knit with my hand spun? Yes. Let's flip this back around. Yes, I have knit with my hand spun. Have I knit a whole lot with my hand spun? No. Do I need to knit more with my hand spun? Yes. Do I need to spin more hand spun? Yes. So it's kind of a convoluted question. And yeah, we're just going to leave it at that. I need to get back more into my spinning. And that's kind of my goal for the summer. Before, if nothing else, I'll start up again for Tour de Fleece and go from there. So now that we're almost at half an hour here, wow, long show, but a lot to talk about. So I'm going to leave you guys there. I hope you had a great week and will continue to. And until next week, happy knitting.